Bran Stark theories: what Bran's visions tell us about the ending of Game of Thrones. Of all the storylines, Bran Stark's has been the most sedentary, and that's not just because he can't actually walk. He has spent most. Through Bran, we've learned that Jon is the legitimate son of, and there have also been, armed with a handful of groundbreaking revelations, Bran played by has reunited with his siblings at Winterfell. He has already been. There are many Bran Stark bubbling around in anticipation of how will end. Below is a guide to navigating these. According to Stark family legend, an ancestor called years ago to protect the realm from the White Walkers. Could this Bran act? In the very first book, Old Nan offers to tell Bran the story of Bran the Builder and the construction of the wall. She is always in. There's a telling line in George R.R. Martin's literature. When Bran tells Old Nan that he hates her stupid stories, she retorts, "No, my little lord, not mine. The stories are before." It's also possible that the three-eyed raven put in place measures to ensure the young Bran was well aware of the story of Bran the Builder, in order to make sure he would know how and when to build the wall. Some choose to take this theory one step further, and think that the current-day Bran Stark might be every single Brandon Stark throughout history, including his uncle. This would mean Bran, Daenerys' father, has gone down in infamy as one of the worst kings of Westeros. Known for his errata, back in Season 6, we had our first glimpse of the Mad King through one of Bran's visions. In it, Aerys Madness played a huge role in Bran's family history. After his aunt this prompted Ned Stark and his friend Robert Baratheon, who was engaged to Lyanna, to go to war and overthrow the ruling Targaryens. It has always been assumed that Aerys Madness was down to years of Targaryen inbreeding, but maybe Bran had a role to play in his downfall. We've already seen Game of Thrones is rife with antagonists, but the king of them all. One theory goes, one of Bran's visions showed the Night King being created when the children of the forest plunged a dragon glass blade into the heart of a man. The intention was, the theory goes, that Bran walked into the man who would become the Night King just like he did to Hodor, in the hope of preventing him from ever being transformed by the children of the forest, but failed. The supporting evidence for this theory is that the Night King could see Bran during one of his visions, and then touch and mark him. In every other vision, it would be unwise to put all your eggs in this basket though. If Bran is the Night, assuming for one moment, though, that this is true, maybe the White Walkers aren't so bad after all? That the Night King, Bran has already revealed to Samwell the true parentage of Jon Snow. As we saw in the true parentage of Jon Snow has been ripe for fan theorizing since the show began, but this revelation suggests that he is actually the true heir to the Iron Throne. It's inevitable that some fans think that this entire vision is in fact a red herring, with Bran jumping to premature conclusions. In the books, the idea of another Targaryen claimant appearing seems a little too fanciful, though. Besides, fans will remember that jaw-dropping moment in the very first episode of Game of Thrones when young Bran was pushed from a tower window after accidentally spying Jaime and Cersei Lannister committing incest in the first episode. It was the precursor. Initially, Bran couldn't remember who pushed him or even if he was pushed at all. Now that we last saw Jaime galloping northwards to lend a golden hand fighting the White Walkers, would it be wise to remove a useful ally? It's also highly catch up on now with the 7-day free trial through. Copyright Telegraph Media Group Limited 2019.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.